Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Nova at Nova Gnome Creations, and I'm so glad you decided to join me today. Today I am working on multiple things. I'm working on my bingo bag still, and it's going well. I had to redo the front pouch or the outside pouches progress a couple of times, trying to get the sizing how I wanted it to be, but I think I'm on the right track this time, so that is progressing along nicely. And Gnome of the Month is Saturday, so I'm working on finishing up that gnome. And I was working on my mandala last night, so quite a few things on my hook right now. And then I'm also wanting to put more things on my hook because, for one, I've really been wanting to start a new mushroom hat in different color scheme. And then also October 8th is when my local fair, you like bring in your items to submit for the like contest stuff, like the crafty stuff. And this is my first time ever doing that, and I'm really excited to do that. So I got a couple things that I want to get done by then and work on by then. And like a few ideas kind of still brewing. So I've got like 3 weeks. I need to kind of hone in what I want to do and get those things finished too. So I've got quite a bit going on right now with crochet. And then this morning I'm having peppermint tea in my Believe in Unicorns mug. And that is so good. I was feeling like so bad yesterday. I just am not getting back to 100% right now. It's like a crazy roller coaster of feeling like crap. But, you know, it comes and goes in intensity, and I will live. I will survive. Anyway, today I'm on here to do the 10 crochet questions of the month from the Secret Yarnery. And this is September's questions of the month. So, I did, not October's, I did August's. So if you remember me doing the Secret Yarnery crochet questions, that's why. They're like a monthly series that she's doing, or monthly questions that she's posing. So if anybody else would like to join in, you are totally welcome to. This is an open tag, so if you have a channel and you'd like to make a video, go for it. And like, I think you hashtag like 10C questions. I will put that information in the comment, or not in the comments, in the description box. I will put a clean copy of the questions and what the name of it is and all that good stuff, and what you hashtag. And if you don't have a channel and you want to join in, you are totally welcome to post in the comment section what your answers to these questions would be if you would like to answer them. No pressure to get to do these. It's all just for fun. So if you want to do them, you're more than welcome to. So jumping right into it. Number 1 is, does counting your stitches calm you down or stress you out? It depends on what you mean by counting your stitches. If you mean, like, okay, I'm going to chain 7. Okay, I'm going to go into the 4th stitch and put 3 of this stitch. You know, like those like little countings. Okay, I'm going to do 2 single crochets and then an increase. So I'm going to go like 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, increase. You know, like something like that. Like a pattern. That doesn't bother me. That doesn't stress me out. And I get into like a rhythm of doing that. And then obviously it's just necessary for things like, the reason that I'm thinking of like, something odd like that is because I just finished making this flower, and you know, you definitely have to like keep count of what you're doing with those, but it's small numbers. Like the highest number that you have to count to is 7. But I don't count my stitches on like large things. Like for example, I've only counted my stitches on the mandala blanket for one round out of the last entire blanket and the part of the blanket that I'm through this time. Only one round did I count my stitches, and it was because I was off when I went to do something and I was like, crap. And then even after that, if I was off or anything, you know, I just kind of fudged it around. And I think even after counting my stitches, I just fudged it around. Counting my stitches, I was at like a weird spot in my blanket, so counting my stitches is what helped me to figure out what I needed to do to get my stitch count back on track by the end of that, round. But typically, I don't count like those big rounds. Honestly, even in like amigurumi, if I'm having a round with like 50 stitches in it, I'm just like, yeah, I'll take your word for it that there's 50 stitches, because like I'm not going to sit there and keep track of those big numbers. I would constantly be losing track. It would just be super tedious. So yeah, I very rarely count the like entire round, or I suppose row if I was working in a row and it's like a big number, I just don't count it. Because that would stress me out. Number 2, what was your first crochet project? I think my first crochet project was granny squares. I'm trying to remember if I like tried to do something before the granny square. Like if I tried to like chain or anything. I don't think I did. I think I literally started with a granny square. And then what I did was I looked up a YouTube tutorial for a granny square, and then I would look up a YouTube tutorial for like everything in the tutorial that I didn't know it was. So it was like, you know, a granny square tutorial for beginners, and then I would also be looking up like how to do a magic circle, how to do a double crochet. Like I would constantly kind of have to remind myself like what a double crochet was and things like that, because I was completely new. So that was my first crochet project. My first amigurumi project was a bee, and I actually still have it. So you know what, 1 second and I'll go grab it, because I just saw it like yesterday and I was kind of laughing. So 1 second. Okay, so here was my first completed amigurumi, and I did this with Dollar Tree chenille yarn. It was like right after it came out, I believe. There's stuffing sticking out of its face, but as you can see pretty easily, there is an issue with the size of a hook I was using. Because of how gappy this came out. I have no idea what size hook I used. Probably something similar to what the band suggested, not knowing that I should be using a smaller hook, or maybe just not knowing I should be using an even smaller hook. And then I added the little heart cheeks like months later, when I got like my cricketed stuff from my sister, and I got like cricketed eye stuff and everything. So yeah, this was my first amigurumi, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it's not too bad. Like, other than being gappy, I would say it's not too bad. So yeah, I saw this yesterday when I was going through some of my finished makes cubes, because I keep all my yarn in like little square cubes, like the square cube shelves, but with like doors on them to keep my cat out of my yarn. And on the bottom shelves that are like not easy to access, I keep some finished things in them, and this was in there. I was looking for something, I don't remember. What was I looking for? I don't remember. But yeah, that was my first amigurumi. What did you do with your first project? Well, you guys know what I did with my first project, because, for one, my first amigurumi project is right here. to my granny squares. I showed you guys on National Granny Square Day, so you guys know what I did with them. I still have them. What's your favorite beverage to drink while you crochet? Tea and coffee is pretty much my favorite beverages to drink in general. If I can do a hot beverage, I do like hot tea and hot coffee. If I'm too warm, I don't like to drink a hot beverage though. I keep my home cool, which is why I can drink hot beverages in the summertime or in the still summer weather, even though I wish it was fall and it's September. But if I'm like hot, I have to drink something cold, and I really like iced tea and iced coffee too. So tea and coffee are definitely my favorite things to drink. But I also do like the occasional energy drink. And I like sparkling water. I drink, sparkling water quite a bit, and I drink regular water also quite a bit. Do you buy, number 5, sorry, do you buy yarn online or in person? Both. This year, like, since the new year, I've pretty much only bought yarn in person. But in my town, I only have a Hobby Lobby. I don't have a Michael's or a Joann's. So my yarn choices are limited by that. Around Christmas time last year, they were running like a really good sale on yarn, and I stocked up. I made like a nice big order, and I stocked up, and I really need to do that again. I need solids. Like, I need just like, you know, your basic like solid colors of yarns and like all the colors type of thing. But yeah, I really need to do that. And also, I wish that they would run like a really good sale like that. Yarn prices, even since I've started crocheting, yarn prices have gone up so much, at least on Joann's site. So when they run sales, it's like the price the yarn was before, not on sale. So I'm like, get cheaper. But yeah, so I do both. It just depends on what I'm doing. I like to shop in person. I get like a totally different experience out of shopping in person. I like to shop, so it's fun for me to go in person and browse and totally end up buying things I don't need. But I also like to shop online, so usually I'll prefer to shop in person though. But I'm a little bit better about getting a good deal and sticking to what I was going to get when I'm not going in person, because I'm like a little bit less impulsive. I'm not going to say I'm not completely, you know, like not impulsive at all, because I like to shop, okay? Number 6, is there a particular stitch or technique that you dread doing? I'm thinking. No, I can't think of anything. Maybe I just haven't come across the technique yet that I don't like doing. I honestly can't really think of anything that I'm like even kind of like meh about doing. Yeah, I don't know. No. Number 7, do you prefer sharp tip or blunt tip needles? So, I don't use regular needles. I use, darning needles, which if I could pick this up. So this is like my little thing that I keep my needles in. And these are the needles that I use while I crochet. And none of them are going to have a sharp tip, because they're darning needles. And then I really like these metal curved ones, but they're not sharp. So definitely blunt tip. But also, I would stab myself so much because anytime I'm hand sewing, I always stab myself. So I think I would just, it would depend what you're doing. Because when I hand sew, I wouldn't want a blunt tip needle because it would be really hard to get through. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just because I don't know what I'm doing when I sew, but my hands usually hurt when I sew because I'm like trying to shove the needle through fabric and probably like not using the right needle. I don't know. But yeah, it would have to be a pointy tip if I was like sewing, but for crocheting, definitely not a sharp tip. Number 8, what advice do you have for working with fuzzy yarn? So I don't know what they mean by fuzzy yarn, if they mean like alpaca fuzzy, like a halo fuzzy, or if they mean like plushy yarn, like, you know, velvets and chenilles and blanket yarns. But honestly, my tip would probably be the same thing for either. And that is to don't feel like you need to be able to see your stitch in the traditional way that you see your stitch when you're crocheting normally. So you can do it by feel. You can kind of feel your way along as you go. Or you can just kind of know, like, and assume where the next stitch is. The thing about fuzzier yarns or fluffier, chunkier yarns is that they're more forgiving to mistakes. You're not going to see mistakes in them anywhere near as much. And as long as you're getting the general gist of what you're doing is right, you're probably not going to be able to tell if you miss a stitch here or there, or, you know, go into the wrong part of a stitch here or there. And then also if it's like eyelash yarn or something, doubling it up with something else, like doubling it up with like a worsted weight yarn or something, will make it like manageable to use. Number 9, what colors do you pick for fall? Well, hello, Lincoln. For me, fall is all about like warm colors and like oranges and reds and yellows and stuff, like basically thinking of leaves, like fall leaves, you know, after they turn into their fall shades and they're not green anymore. That's basically the palette that I think of for fall. And then also brown, but typically like rich warm hues of red, orange, and yellow are like what I think of and what I like. And also like sunflowers are like a fall thing, which are the same colors same colors as the leaves. So everything is kind of in that warm yellows, reds, oranges, and browns kind of thing. So that's what I would think of. And number 10 is the last one, and it is, where is the strangest place that you found your crochet hook? I don't think I've really found my crochet hook in a strange place. But I do have a funny story. Okay, what I was trying to say is, I do have a funny story because over the weekend my husband and I went out to eat and we got Chinese buffet, and it was like towards the end of eating and he was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, and I was like, okay, you know, we're about to leave, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, feel something stabbing me in the boob like, you know, like under my boob, and I'm like, what is this? So I'm like kind of feel a little bit, and I feel something there, like a knot or like a lump, and I'm like, what is this? So I'm kind of discreetly like, and I get it out. So earlier that day, I had been organizing some things a little bit, and I got these little plastic tubs from the dollar store in like a pack of 4, and I was putting my safety eye backs in them. And the safety eye backs, they're like not labeled by size or anything. So I was like, I have a whole bunch of these little baggies. They come in like little baggies with your safety eyes. So I'm like trying to figure out which ones are the same size. So I'm like taking one out of each of them and like holding them up, trying to look at the holes because they don't really look that much different. but they're hard to keep a hold on, and so I kept accidentally like holding it and they would be like poop and like, you know, go flying somewhere, falling onto the floor, whatever. And I did not find all of those from that. Apparently one had made its way down in there and had been in my bra all day. So I did find a safety eye backing in a funny place, or a strange place. But other than that, I don't think I've ever found a crochet hook in a strange place. Sorry about that. I thought I heard something. But yeah, I normally keep it in like a project bag or with my project. Usually if it's in a project bag and not with the current project, it's just because I finished that project and it never got out of the project bag. But I try to keep them all in a centralized location and kind of keep track of them. So I've never found one in a strange place, but never say never. Anyway, that is today's video, or at least for now. So if you want to answer any of these questions, please feel free to, and I will leave a blank copy in the description box. And I hope everybody is having a great Monday, and I will see you guys later. Bye, guys!